Welcome. Take a slow, deep breath and imagine the sound of wind sweeping across endless snow. Tonight, we journey back to a place where the nights were long, the winters longer, and life unfolded under the ever-present gaze of the gods. This is the cold, whispering world of Norse mythology, a land shaped by hardship and by story, where every frostbitten morning and every crackling hearthfire carried the weight of fate. The world creaks toward Ragnarok, the final battle, the slow unraveling. But before that, there are ordinary lives to live. Rough hands tilling frozen earth, quiet prayers whispered into pine forests, and sagas murmured into the dark. In this tale, the end is always coming, but not quite yet. So allow your mind to settle. Let the flickering candlelight of ancient memory cast long shadows over your thoughts. You're not in the present anymore. You're in the north, the cold, not the kind that stings briefly and fades, but the kind that lingers in your bones, the kind that waits for you in the shadows and creeps under your skin like an old grudge. Let us begin. Segment 1. Why it sucked to be a Norse farmer waiting for the air bites your cheeks before you've even stepped out of the longhouse. Your home is made of timber and turf, sloped to survive the weight of winter's snow. You boil water in an iron pot just to keep it from freezing solid. Grind grain into flour, though there's little left. Your wife speaks softly beside you, conserving energy, conserving warmth. Your children cough in their sleep. You listen closely to see if they wake. It smells of smoke and wet wool and the faint musk of the animals that share your space. It's a memory, a fear, a whisper in the back of your mind when the snow falls thick and unceasing. Odin gave his eye for wisdom, they say. Thor will fight the world's serpent and fall beneath its poison. Heimdall will blow his horn and the gods will march to their doom. It might already be here, and you're just trying to survive one more day of it. A child born with black eyes, a goat that gave birth to a stillborn with 2 heads, the side Kona, the local sorceress, murmurs of wolves on the horizon, just the sound of the wind, and the creak of old wood, and the endless rhythm of life in the shadow of the end. Not the kind that steals sheep, the other kind, the ones with names. 3 years without summer, the seeresses say. 3 years of bitter winds and brothers turning on brothers. Outside, your world is grey. Stone, ice, wood, sky. You live in the outer fjords, far from the wealth of the chieftain's hall. The soil beneath your boots is stubborn. You grow barley and onions when the ground allows it. You pull your wool cloak tighter, chew on cold bread, and wonder how many more nights the roof will hold. Fish the cold waters, salt what little you can preserve. Every winter you wonder if it will be your last. The food stores are always a little too small, the firewood pile always shrinking too fast. The Fimbulwinter, the great winter that will precede the end of the world, is not just prophecy. Sometimes, when the northern lights dance above your farmstead in green and violet ribbons, you wonder, is this it? Has it begun? You wake before dawn, always before dawn, because in this season, daylight is brief and stingy. Your hands crack from cold and callous. In the longhouse, every task is survival. You mend nets, feed the livestock, beat ice from the roof. You hear of signs in the village, omens and portents, school and haughty, destined to chase the sun and moon until they catch them. At night, around the hearth, the elders tell the old stories, not to comfort you, but to prepare you. But in the meantime, the goats still need milking, the roof still leaks, and your neighbor's son has a fever that won't break. There is no dramatic tension here, no swelling music or heroic montage. You don't scream into the sky or curse the gods, because the truth is, the Fimbulwinter might not come as a thunderclap. Transition to segment 2. But while you and others endure the cold weight of ordinary life, above you, the gods too are bound by fate. One in particular, a silver-tuned wanderer, a shapeshifter, a father and a betrayer, has already tipped the balance. Let us now turn our gaze to the story of Loki, and the beginning of the end. Now drift upward, from frost-covered fields and smoking hearths to the lofty halls of Asgard, where the gods dwell, proud and radiant, yet always peering toward the horizon of doom. In their midst is one, unlike the others, not a god of thunder, not a father of men, but a trickster, Loki. You've heard his name, whispered with unease, spoken with awe. He is beautiful, clever, strange, neither wholly good nor wholly evil. He walks among gods and monsters alike, and slowly, patiently, he weaves the tapestry of catastrophe. He is the shapeshifter, the fire beneath the ice, the father of beasts, and, in time, the architect of Ragnarok. He brings laughter to holes thick with mead. Loki's beginnings were curious. Even then, he is of the Jitner, the giants, the primal forces of the world. But he swears brotherhood with Odin. He laughs when others grumble. He dances through disaster and spins words like silk. He solves problems. He causes problems. For a time, the gods tolerate him, even rely on him. He tricks dwarves into making treasures. He outwits enemies, but the balance tilts. You may hear, around the fire, the tale of how he mocked the gods, insulted them one by one at a feast, revealing their secrets, their weaknesses, their regrets, or of how he cut the golden hair of Sif, Thor's wife, as a prank, and nearly lost his life for it. Yet the gods forgave. Again and again they forgave, until he went too far. Loki bore children, 3 of them, the serpent Jormungandr, who will one day poison the world, the wolf Fenrir, destined to devour Odin, and Hel, the pale queen of the underworld. Odin, sensing danger, cast them out, and gave it to Baldra's blind brother, Hr, to throw, guiding his hand. One into the sea, one into chains, one into the dead lands. And Loki, he changed. His jokes grew sharper, his loyalty thinned. Then came the final blow. It caused the death of Balder, the Shining One, the beloved god. Every plant, every stone, every beast, all but the mistletoe, which was overlooked. Balder dreamt of his death, and so the gods made every living thing swear never to harm him. Loki found this out. He fashioned a dart of mistletoe. Balder fell, and with him a light went out of the world. The gods wept. They begged Hel to return him. She refused. Loki fled. He hid in the mountains, beneath a crashing waterfall, disguised as a summon. But they found him, dragged him back, and then they bound him. They took the entrails of his own son and lashed him to a rock beneath the earth. Overhead they hung a serpent, dripping venom. His wife Sigyn stayed beside him, holding a bowl to catch the drops. But every time she turned away to empty it, a drop would strike him, and his body would twist in pain. And in that, perhaps, he was the most human of them all, and the earth would tremble. He is there still, they say, waiting, twisting, counting the days until the last battle, when his bonds will break, and he will march with the monsters he made. And so you begin to understand. The end was not sudden. It was slow, a chain forged one link at a time. Loki was not always a villain, nor always a friend. He was both and neither. Transition to segment 3. But now, let us descend, not into punishment, nor prophecy, but into the dreaming roots of the world itself, where ancient branches hold the 9 realms, and secrets slumber in runes carved by gods. We turn now to Yggdrasil, the great tree, and the quiet wonder of Norse cosmology. Now, imagine yourself beneath a vast, ancient tree, its roots sinking deep into the unseen, its branches stretching beyond sight, cradling the sky itself. This is Yggdrasil, the world tree, a symbol both sturdy and mysterious, holding together the fragile web of existence. It is the silent backbone of the cosmos in Norse belief. The air here is thick with the scent of pine and damp earth, the forest floor soft beneath your feet, moss cushioning your steps. One sinks into the well of Uard, where the Norns, those weavers of fate, sit beside a sacred spring. They sip from the waters, spinning the threads of life and destiny for gods and men alike. Imagine the gentle rhythm of their weaving, the quiet inevitability of their task. The sky above is a swirling canvas of stars, quiet and watchful. Though distant, you sense the crackle of embers and the warmth pressing softly against the cold. Yggdrasil rises from the depths, its roots stretching into 3 realms. Another root dips into the fiery realm of Muspelheim, a land of flame and heat, home to the fire giants whose sparks light the forge of creation. Here, your ancestors once walked, tending their farms, telling stories by firelight. The third root plunges into the icy depths of Niflheim, shrouded in mist and frost. It is a realm of golden halls and eternal feasts, separated from Midgard, the world of men, by a shimmering rainbow bridge Bifrost. Each rune whispers a story, a blessing, or a warning, etched by gods and men alike. This bridge pulses with a faint, humming light, fragile yet unyielding. It is also a reminder of him, a patient witness to the endless cycle of death and rebirth. Creatures dwell among its branches and roots. A serpent gnaws at the base, eagles perch overhead, squirrels scurry between limbs, all playing their part in the balance of creation and destruction. Imagine holding a carved stone in your palm, feeling its smooth edges, tracing its shapes with quiet reverence, where the primordial cold seeps into the world like a slow breath. Here lies the well of Yggdrasil, bubbling quietly, nourishing the roots and waters of life. Above, nestled among the branches, rests Asgard, the gleaming home of the Aesir gods. Midgard lies below, the familiar realm, a patchwork of forests, mountains, and seas. Beyond Midgard, other worlds spin quietly in the cosmic dance. Vanaheim, the realm of the Vanir gods, lush and fertile. Alfheim, home to the light elves, beings of subtle beauty and gentle power. Svartalfheim, shadowy and secret, the domain of the dark elves or dwarves, master smiths and craftsmen. Jotunheim, wild and untamed, where the giants roam, ancient forces of chaos and strength. All are connected by Yggdrasil's vast network, a symbol of unity and complexity. Carved upon this tree and scattered through runestones are the ancient runes, not just letters, but living symbols, carriers of magic and meaning. These runes could be used to heal wounds, to curse enemies, or to seek wisdom in the dark. Yet Yggdrasil is not merely a symbol of life. The tree trembles as the earth shakes beneath the coming storm of Ragnarok, but still, it stands. As you breathe in this world of roots and realms, you are invited to sink deeper into the mystery, to feel the slow pulse of time, the quiet strength of transition to segment 4. And now, let us gently move from the cosmic to the social, to the halls and homes of the Norse elite, where feasts were held and power was displayed. A contrast to the bitter fields, these gatherings shimmered with warmth, mead, and ritual. We turn to the world of Valhalla and Hell, and the lives and afterlives that awaited the Norse. Now, imagine stepping into a grand hall. The golden light of flickering torches bouncing off long wooden tables heavy with food. This is Valhalla, the shining hall of Odin himself, a place where warriors who died bravely in battle find a new kind of existence. The air is warm here, thick with the rich scents of roasted meats, spiced ale, and burning pine. They share stories of battles past, their voices steady and measured, never urgent, never loud enough to startle the quiet of the night. The laughter and song rise softly, like a gentle river flowing through the night. Here, the brave feast endlessly. The warriors, called the Einherjar. Each evening, they gather again to feast, a rhythm of life both rigorous and restful, the domain of Loki's daughter, Hel, who rules over those who died of sickness or old age. Each day is spent preparing for the final battle, practicing with sword and spear beneath the watchful eyes of the gods. Yet, beneath the surface, there is no frenzy, no desperate grasping at glory. The light here is dim but not dark, a muted twilight that settles like a blanket. It is not a place of fire and punishment, but of rest and reflection. There is peace, but it is tinged with solitude, a waiting, a watching for what lies beyond. It is a calm acceptance of fate, a preparation for what must come, woven with camaraderie and ritual. And then there is hell. They faced gods bound by fate, and worlds woven of roots and shadow. Not a place of torment, as some might imagine, but a realm of quiet shadows and stillness. Imagine a cool, mist-shrouded valley where the air is soft, the ground mossy and silent beneath your feet. Let the calm of this ancient world soothe you and carry you gently into sleep. The world turns, the tree endures, and the possibility of renewal waits beyond the frost. The inhabitants walk slowly, their steps careful, their voices low and gentle. Here, life is simpler, stripped of the battle's roar and the feast's clamor. These two afterlives reflect the Norse understanding of existence, not one of eternal reward or punishment, but of cycles, roles, and balance. And as the stories tell us, even in hell, the end is not the end. So, as you lie back now, feeling the warmth of your own bed, the softness of your pillow, and the steady rhythm of your breath, remember this: the Norse endured cold that pierced bone and darkness that swallowed the sky. And still, life went on, measured, steady, a rhythm older than time. Let your thoughts drift on the quiet snow, the shimmering branches of Yggdrasil, the soft voices of ancient halls. Closing, thank you for joining this slow journey through the Norse world, a place where hardship and mystery, life and death, rest side by side. May your dreams be as deep and enduring as the roots of Yggdrasil, and your sleep as peaceful as the quiet halls of hell. Good night.